Wolfenstein. This ships with the game. But before we talk about multiplayer, we're going to show off a few of the single-player levels. And I think the good place to start that is really at the beginning and with the story. What you're going to see here is basically you play the role as in the original Wolf 3D, B.J. Blazkowicz, who's a Special Forces agent who's sent in to investigate what's going on at Castle Wolfenstein. Unfortunately, you and your comrade Agent 1 are captured, and this little scene that plays out tells you sort of what happens at the start of the game.
Go and get the other one as soon as I was finished.
Your buddy Agent 1 on the table, going through the last throes of torture from Dr. B. As the guard goes down the hall to bring you to the same fate, BJ's got a surprise for him. So overpowering the guard, you return to Castle Wolfenstein just like the original Wolfenstein 3D. The cell in the castle, trying to get out with a knife and a loop. The very first part of the game presents a lot of things that are consistent throughout the game. As you can see, Nick look around at the details within the game, the cracks in the ceiling, the cobwebs, the textures of the stone on the walls. The team at Grey Matter actually toured castles in Europe, took thousands of photographs, and used inspiration for everything from the textures that they use on the floors to what's on the walls to the doors, etc. You can see also that things that are in the universe that you would expect to be there. This is a dungeon in a castle. You've got a guy who's probably been a little bit too long up in the swing. Again, it's the Wolfenstein universe, so this is Nazism over the top. The Third Reich sort of gone wild, so there's tons of Nazi iconography, swastikas, flags, Nazi propaganda everywhere. And everywhere you see a piece of Nazi propaganda, you can approach it. You'll also see that it's destructive. And good job, man. See the particle effects as the flag falls down. But I think we've also got a score to settle with Dr. Z. So let's see if we can't find what he's doing. Zoom in and take a look here. We've got a completely new animation system. Over 3,000 frames of animation are in the game. It's all motion captured. So when the player approaches a scene and he's not discovered by the characters in the game, these characters are doing what you might expect them to do in that environment. Dr. Z here, washing the blood off his hands after a hard day of torture, stretching his back. Let's see if we can't help Dr. Z with his aching back here, Nick. Notice also Dr. Z has some notes here from torturing our buddy Agent 1, where it says that Agent 1 was a good secret agent. He didn't give out any information, even after being subjected to 77% power. Hopefully it'll fare better with us, but such was not the case. There's really a couple of different approaches that you can take within the game too. So if you're the guns and glaring type, then that option is presented to you as a player. But that's not always the smartest course of action. Here, if we can sneak up, we can overhear a little conversation between these two guards. Trying to tune the radio to get some music instead of getting orders. And if we sneak up behind these guys, now they're all going to come after us. So there's a couple of different approaches that you can take to the game. You'll also see as we go through these guys that there's you get plenty of opportunities to kill Nazis in the game if you weren't aware of that already. Also, there's a lot of different pieces of the environment that you can interact with. And every time you can interact with something in the environment, you get a HUD icon. Like, as you said, the posters, etc. As you come up to it, if you can destroy it, you get the destructible icon. You can shoot it, whatever, and destroy that. Another thing that adds is a sense of atmosphere and life to the environment in which the player is in. So that if you're in the middle of a firefight, the chairs are breaking, stuff's breaking off the wall, flags are being shattered, coats of armor are falling down. Also, with the skybox, you see this is a great scene where it really gets a feel of a castle in the middle of the Harz Mountains in a German winter. And that's where the player starts off, and that's what we really want to convey is that here you are, you're a soldier, you're alone, and you get this feel of being in a German winter in a castle. So what all this adds up to is a living, breathing, and believable world that the player can interact with, one that isn't so complicated that you have to break things in order to be able to allow the player to interact with. And that adds a new level of depth and variety to the game. I'm going to go ahead and load up the next one here. As much as fun as it is to kill Nazis, that's not all you do in Return to Castle Wolfenstein. The story of the game is basically World War II meets the X-Files. So the Third Reich was notorious for their fascination with the occult and all things sort of mystical. And so within the game there's this element that the player is presented with. You start this level basically after you escape from the castle. You're instructed there's something going on in a crypt in the village at the foot of the mountains of the castle. And you need to go find out what the Nazis are up to. That there's some rumors about it. There's all sorts of strange goings on. And as you approach it, you can look and see down at the battle that goes on down here below that the German regular soldiers are nearly as much of a victim of this circumstance as you've sort of been presented to as the player. And this isn't a scripted event. This is basically one type of enemy fighting another type of enemy. And sometimes the zombies win, sometimes the Nazis win. You as a player can jump down in the middle of it if you want to. You can drop a grenade or two to soften them up before you jump down into battle. Or you can just let them fight it out until the end. So it's very much an Indiana Jones style experience in the crypts, but it's not so fantastical as to be divorced from reality. Heinrich Himmler actually believed he was the reincarnation of a 10th century Teutonic knight. Adolf Hitler actually advised the Hitler Youth to procreate in cemeteries where he believed that the spirits of fallen knights should be imbued within their children. So although it's over the top, it's not so divorced from reality that you can't say, hey, there's actually stuff where, this could have actually been going on. We also have a scripting system within the game which allows us to show off cool things for the player to see that you can't actually participate in, like this, where you have one of the unfortunate souls of the German regulars who's being besieged by two Nazis who... I don't think that scream meant that he got away. Let's see if we can't figure out what actually came of him. Leaning around the corner and peek where the zombies can't see us, and I think he's taking his helmet and now he's eating what's left of him. So. Basically, within the crypts, in this section of the game, the player is first introduced to the mystery of exactly what the Nazis are working on, and then it's the player's job to basically figure out this mystery, and solve it in order to stop what it is that the Nazis are working on. But far from being just a corridor shooter game, there's a variety of environments. And the map we're gonna load up here next really demonstrates some of the epic nature of the game. So you start out at the castle, you progress to the crypts. Later on, at this part of the level, you're basically sent on a mission to where you need to infiltrate a base and capture an experimental rocket plane that will be very valuable to the Allies in the war effort. So the key to this mission is being able to sneak aboard and stow away on a truck. So to do that, you can't allow the Nazis to know that you're there, or else they'll close the gates, won't let you into the compound. So you have to have your weapons as stealth. Here we have a version of the British Sten, which it has a silencer, balanced by the fact that you can't just shoot it because it overheats, and then you have to stop, reload, and wait for it. Nick's going to try to sneak up on these guys here and see if we can't get the drop on him as he crouches behind. The guy won't see him. Oh. I think the other guard's been alerted, but maybe we don't know exactly where we are yet. But these guys, if they tell their buddies, that basically what happens is if the level gets alerted. Well, that's all right. We have to improvise a little bit. That just shows you that it doesn't always work out like you expect it to. These guys will actually react to you differently depending upon how you approach the level. So is he running to tell the sentry? It looks like that we're going to be found out. Planes flying overhead, add to the atmosphere, etc. Okay, and this is an example of what happens if you actually make too much noise. You alert the guards, they set off the alarms, and you have to start back over because you can't get aboard the truck if they know that you're coming. You want to go to skip to the next one here? The last level that we're going to show here is a later level in the game where you basically have to infiltrate the base. And you start out at the top after sneaking through a culvert, and you find yourself looking down on a secret Nazi airbase. And you can go in and look at some of the stuff that we've created within the game. If you can zoom in on this jet that's about to take off here. See the effect system with the fire from the jets as it takes off down the runway, trail of smoke. And of course, to infiltrate, you've got some guys down there that you can see with the scope on your sniper rifle. The weapon that Nick has up here is what we call the snooper rifle. It's infrared, it's silent, and it's deadly accurate, and he can pick these guys off from a long range. You'll notice a red bar on the side of the screen as well. So if you can't just pull the weapon up and shoot like railgun style in Quake 3. You actually have to wait for the sway to stop to be able to really target these guys and sort of take dead aim. One other thing in this level that is unique and is cool within the game is that the way in which we bring enemies into a scene, if you trip an alarm or if you alert guards to your presence or what have you, as opposed to just spawn them behind a wall and have them rush in through a door, is they actually come in, they're alerted to your presence, and they actually come down the runway in a truck here and get out and is the truck coming out there? Yeah. Because they heard you coming and they haven't heard us coming yet. Next being extra stealthy, normally Trip says it's way before now. I think I hear the music change that signals that the truck is coming now. Watch this play out a little bit. This is also great sport. So you can take out a few of the frustrations from failing the forest level here on the guys that are getting out of the truck. Going to drop down here and see if you can't get behind some guys. Again, showing that there's more than one way to approach this. He could have jumped over the wall, but he went down through a gate. This guy kicks over the table to take cover behind. This is actually things that they will do. The characters within the game, if they need to, if they run out of ammo, they'll duck behind the box to reload. They'll go back. You might want to show them here what happens if you cheat, give yourself a flamethrower and scare them all. They run. See if you can't jump over to the. If you can make it through here and get to the other side of the level. There's one last thing in this level I'd like to show off. And if Nick can make it there before he gets mowed down. We might have to cheat here since we've got them all after us. So the mission, you've got to get up here, at the top of this guard post, which has the control to lower the gate. Also notice the cage at the top of the ladder. If you played many first-person games and you've had much experience with ladders, you know that they're one of the deadliest things in the game, apart from the enemies, is that you fall off the ladder to your death. So we put cages at the top of them, so all you have to do is back into them and climb straight down. This is the Venom gun. You really don't have this at this point in the game.
Someone's having a little bit of fun.
These guys are a little perplexed by finding out that you've got it at this point, but we can sort of see our way through this part. As we climb up the stairs, we've got the sound turned on here. We'll be able to hear a plane go overhead, which our regular German Nazis, although they were no match for us, the tough guys were being sent in, and they're being airdropped, as you saw from the sort of vignette in the E3 trailer. You actually shoot these guys with the parachutes, and they'll fall to the ground. Although I think that might be a violation of the Geneva Conventions. We don't take out bullets off the game, though. So anyway, that's a taste of the single-player experience, and it really shows off, I think, a variety of what you're able to experience throughout the game, and again, that's just a taste of it.